You ever get a game for free that you were really looking forward to or like really wanted to play? And you get it from a friend or you, for example, like me, got it on the PlayStation Store for free because you have the game catalog subscription. Well, that was me with Ghostwire Tokyo, and this game was such a letdown. I'm not saying it's the worst game to come out in 2022. There were obviously worse games, but I was just really excited about this game, and it kind of let me down. I don't blame anyone for liking this game. It's just too slow paced for me, and too like there were so many repetitive menial tasks that I didn't enjoy doing. Granted, I haven't played the whole game. I'm still like I'm probably maybe 7 hours in or 6 hours in, maybe a little less than that. Um, this game is by no means terrible. It was just a letdown. I was really looking forward to this game. When this game was announced, I was like, "Oh, this game looks amazing." But now I can see why the game was like playing the game. I can see why how they were. I can see how they were able to make the game look good. But actually playing it, I realized that the gameplay is actually just not as good as I thought it was going to be. The game isn't terrible. I will for one I will point out the art in this game is amazing. I really enjoy the art. I've always loved this kind of Japanese art style and stuff. It's just art alone isn't enough to get me to enjoy the game. It is really cool. I like the design around the map. I like the way they have all these signs and the color of the sky, the moon, and the fog everywhere. I like all the nods to Japanese culture. I think it's really cool. I enjoy it, but the gameplay is just very slow. The combat is not very fun. The puzzles are okay. They have some okay puzzles. They're not bad. The game is just very slow. I'll have some clips in here about the combat and about like there's even some stealth you can use. Like there's a stealth aspect to the game that you can sneak up on people and one shot them. And that's another thing I want to say. I really do enjoy it. Like when I said the art and like design, that goes past just the map and the way things look. I really like the way the enemies look. It gives me like a kind of like Silent Hill vibe. I really loved the Silent Hill games growing up. It was those and Resident Evil were kind of like those horror games you would go to play. But Resident Evil really got away from that and started acting like an action movie, which I really didn't like that much. And Silent Hill, the company stopped making the Silent Hill games. So I was kind of just left with like, well, now there's nothing to play. And then games like Outlast came out and stuff like that. And then I got really into those games. But anyways, the point being that like I like the art style for the way that they were making the enemies look. I think it was really cool. It really did give me Silent Hill vibes, like those hospital nurses from Silent Hill. I thought that was really cool. I like a lot of the interactions. Like you can interact with dogs and cats. That's pretty cool. I think that's kind of cool. You can read their thoughts and communicate. Like there's even a mission with a raccoon that you can like he'll actually ask you to do a mission for him. It's like a little puzzle. You just have to play like hide and seek with another raccoon. It's pretty cool. And then the other interaction was like with the spirits that you've seen me do a few times throughout the video. Like you pull out a little piece of paper. I forget what it's called. I'm not entirely like well versed in like Japanese like terms, lore, and like the way they say their words. Like I know a raccoon is tanuki, but like I only know that because of anime. But anyways, the like you use like a piece of paper. I think it's called a shinigami. I think is what it's called, and it absorbs the spirits, and then you release the spirits later. And then there's like, for example, right here, there's like a corrupted spirit who is just not a good guy. This is also another thing I think is cool. This kind of interactive gameplay where you get to use like your joystick or the touchpad to kind of do an animation, and then it will release whatever the spell or spirit is. It's just a cool addition to the game. I think overall there's some cool parts of the game. I just think overall the game was kind of a letdown. I'll let you see some gameplay of some fighting right here. I'll let you see what the combat kind of really looks like, so that way you get an idea of why I don't think the combat is very fun.
Got ourselves a brawl.
All right, so that's kind of the part that I'm talking about. Like, it's just kind of keep shooting them until their cube shows up out of their heart or like out in their chest, and then you can rip it out in a long animation. You can speed up the animation. Like, I've gotten to the point where the animation is not so slow. Also, the animation is cool. Like, when you rip it out with the threads, I think that's actually a really cool animation. I think that's another cool interactive part. But you don't even have to do that. You could just like shoot them again instead of going through the whole animation. I realize that it gives you less ammo refill. So like when you do this, if you look at the bottom right corner, I get +9. That's because whenever you do that, you get like your ammo back, which is what I'm shooting with. You get that back every time you do one of those thread pulls. But I just think that like you could also just finish them off and then just hit some other things around you that would give you ammo back. So I don't know, maybe it's better to just not do the thread animation, but I think it's cool, so I like to do it. But like this is pretty much the combat. Like you just keep moving around and shooting like this. You don't really have to take cover. You don't have to really block that often. Like, you just keep your distance, and you can. And like all you have to do is kind of dodge like enemies that throw different things. That's kind of it. It's not that exciting. You do later get other abilities. Like now I have a bow that 2-shots some of the enemies and like 1-shots some of the enemies. Another thing is like a fire lance that you get to shoot. It's like a fire spear. That's pretty cool. I haven't really used it that much, but it looks cool. A lot of the powers just look really cool. And here's some gameplay of some stealth. And I guess to get kind of past the point of just this game, I want to kind of talk about Bathesda as a whole, because what has Bathesda really done lately? Like, besides releasing a game like this, which is subpar, like what really have they done? Like, ever since Skyrim and Fallout 4, it's just kind of been what? Nothing. They focus on Elder Scrolls Online still, which altogether is not a bad game. I don't think Elder Scrolls is a bad game. I'm just not a big fan of MMOs. But like as an MMO, it's a great game. It's not a bad game. I just don't want to spend a bunch of money on expansions and stuff, so I don't do it. But the Elder Scrolls Online, good game. Skyrim, good game. I was never a big Fallout fan. I understand that they're good games. I was just never a big Fallout fan. I know Fallout 4 was a very popular game. Probably, I know there's a big debate between whether Skyrim or Fallout 4 was better. But I mean, I kind of understand now why Bethesda kind of sold out to Microsoft, because like they hadn't been doing anything, and then when they finally release a like really anticipated game like this, it just wasn't that good. Like I understand why I didn't really hear much about this game after it released now, because it just wasn't exciting. Bethesda really has not done anything. Like what? And this was released last year, and before this, I can't remember the last thing they did. Maybe in 2019 they released something, but I don't remember. Wait, was it I don't remember if it was 2020 or 2019 that they released Doom Eternal. But then what? I mean, Doom was a good game. Doom is like a classic, but like other than Fallout 4, Skyrim, Doom, what else? That's kind of it, right? So I mean, and like even when you look up Bethesda and you look up games they've made recently, they always just reference Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Like they're completely just banking on their past of 2 good games that they made, and then they kind of like the franchise of like Elder Scrolls and the franchise of Fallout are their 2 biggest successes, which nobody's taking away from that. Those are good games. Those are good franchises. They're successful, and they've done better than I'm sure Bethesda could have ever hoped for. But I don't think that's an excuse to just stop making good games. Like I think it's kind of bad when you are like a big company, and then you get bought by an even bigger company like Microsoft, and then the only games that people reference to your company are games that you made back in like 2015. Like I feel like you have almost a decade since Fallout 4, and all you released is Doom Eternal. That was a strong game. I just feel like it's not a good sign. But I mean, if you got there's probably people out there that are like big Bethesda fans. I'd love to hear from you guys, like what your guys' thoughts are on this. Like, I want to hear from people who are big Bethesda fans. and like what their thoughts on what I say like are. Like if I'm missing something, I'd love to hear it, man. I'd love to hear it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. If you appreciate the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.